All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Week 10, the final regular season week of the Season 7 SBL. I am
Microphone muted.
AGS0, joined here with Thrifty Senpai. And, well, I'd ask how you're doing, but I know the internal state of your team, so we're going to just jump right into these MVPs here. And start off game one of last week, Waifu Superstar versus Boy Butter. My boy, the Xmas Tree, going off on that Thresh. I'm a big fan of that guy. You know, he lands hooks, he kills people. That's more than the last support I played with.
Yeah, no, he played very well. Uh, well, despite some hiccups here and there in the game, Tree consistently played good throughout all of it. So, big props to him. He helped get his team into a very strong lead and helped keep his team in it when things weren't looking as good.
All right, so game two, we had Thermidor going 6-3-10 on the Master Yi in a first place, potentially securing victory over the SS Boosted Friendship. And just think about that game's tilting me a little. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like that. I don't ever want to see that champion again. I definitely don't want to see it do well again. And he put down a lot of pressure on that map. He did kind of Thermidor things. You know, he's like, "You want to ban my Shyvana? Okay, cool. I'm gonna try this guy that does the same thing," and it
I
worked.
would say he put out a lot of pressure until like the early game he didn't do much, but then later on, damn, he hit the Yi zone and he did Yi things.
And then game three, Batty Bargain Bin with a victory over 2K2S MVP going to Vivaret on Caitlyn in what was, a solid performance from Vivaret.
He put out a lot of damage that game. I don't know if people realize when they looked at the damage graph, but there was no one close to him. He did so much damage that game, melting, just melted people. Played very very well that game, and he
Yeah,
bodied
definitely.
his lane opponents.
Yeah, he was my vote for the MVP in that game. I mean, we've seen kind of this Caitlyn resurgence in the league lately. Quite a few Caitlyn games across the league. Probably influenced by that shitty 80 carry Stixay. As a Caitlyn player, all I need is one professional player playing Caitlyn. And I feel like, okay, I can play Caitlyn now. Like, it's okay again. And that's kind of what Stixay was doing. If I was playing 80 carry right now, I'd probably be playing Caitlyn.
Caitlyn's very very strong in the last couple patches. It just realized people need to realize that how to build her, and then where she kind of sat into the teams. Once people realize that, she's been doing very very well.
Yeah, especially in this meta, like specifically at the professional level, where you see so many games turn into 1-3-1 situations. Caitlyn is one of the best AD carries in the game for being a part of the three, because whether you're applying pressure and pushing, like she's going to be very good. If you're disengaging, she's going to be very good. She's going to be very safe the whole time. I'm actually really excited that people are finally starting to play Caitlyn at the pro level because we're seeing all the cool things that the semi-reworked Caitlyn can do with the trap spam and that even more ridiculous poke damage she can put out.
Also, the combination with the people realizing the Hurricane build for her teamfight damage. Right, the Hurricane build does an assload of damage because you get that headshot so often. And apparently, Master Cruz is missing.
Well, I'm a professional at stalling, so as I paused indefinitely.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was like, am I supposed to fill in?
Well, I guess now would be a good time to talk about some of our upcoming events post playoffs. So actually, I'll give a breakdown of what's going to be going on as this season comes to an end. So first of all, tonight, week 10 here, we have a lot of tiebreaker scenarios that could potentially happen. I'm only going to be casting this first game, but I am going to be hopping on stream briefly between games to kind of break down where we sit with the tiebreakers. A few big ones, big implications from this game, first of all, if Boy Butter pulls the upset over Think Twice Die Once, that would mean we would have the potential for a first place and a fifth, sixth place tiebreaker.
Yes.
But if TDO wins this game, then they secure the first seed and the bye to the championship round, and Boy Butter finish 2-8, guarantee themselves sixth place, sole possession of last place. So this game has the most implications because a lot of other tiebreakers rely on what happens in this game. But then we can also potentially have, if SS Boosted Friendship lose to Batty Bargain Bin and 2K2S beat Y3 Superstar, we could have a playoff play-in game between 2K2S and the SS Boosted Friendship. And then we could also have a situation where Boosted Friendship beats Batty Bargain Bin. They both tie 5-5 and 1-1 head-to-head, and they would be fighting between the third and the fourth seed. And since all that's going to determine, since they'd be playing each other in the first round of the playoffs, whether the third or the fourth seed is side advantage, we're going to host an awesome best of 3, 1-1 with 3 members from each team to determine who gets the third seed and side advantage.
Also, I want to point out we have the return of K King for the last week.
Oh man,
That's
hyphy,
boys.
This is actually, I kind of like this.
I love this.
This is a chance at redemption. It would have been a little better if it was Manlore missing and this was actually the roster they played the first 4 weeks with. But Platinum 5? Is that a 3s ranking? Yep, that's 3s. Okay, I was about to just like jump in my chair.
King comes back from an entire time of solo queue, comes back as Plat 5. Oh man.
Welcome back, K King. I'm looking forward to casting this. Big fan of this guy. Big fan of this guy. Sorry, we're just gonna double check, make sure these teams are ready, and we'll hop into this game in a moment here.
Tommy Danner.
In the meantime, breaking down what could happen with the playoffs. So in the events we only have to play the 1-1s, those would be played tonight. And also, if we have to do the playoff play-in game, I believe that is going to be played tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But if we had any of the situations where multiple tiebreakers are being played, then those are going to be pushed back to next week, and we'll be pushing the playoffs back. All right, looks like both teams are ready, so starting it up as soon as 30 hits that button. So we've got Boy Butter with K King filling in for Cruise Master on the blue team. Think Twice Die Once with their full roster. Zwerv's coming back despite Sword and Mace's solid performance last week. Probably not really surprising anyone. And we are in drafts. Boy Butter fighting for their lives. So let me just say this. As somebody who has finished 5th in both seasons since we expanded to 6 teams.
Yeah.
To me, finishing 5th and not finishing 6th was a huge deal in both of those seasons. And if I know Wes at all, I think it's going to be somewhat of a big deal to him as well.
Yeah. I think that's definitely reasonable.
Alright, so
right out we see a Nautilus ban and an Ari ban coming out from Boy Butter, and we'll shortly see what their third ban is.
Yeah, those are both, and Shyvana going to be the third ban. Those are all good bans. Those are picks we've seen a lot of power from their respective players on TDO. Especially that Shyvana. We've just seen some really things that we don't see in the SBL come out of Thermidor's Shyvana. It is completely taken over games almost every time he's picked it.
Yeah, and then we go ahead and we see the first pick, Jin. So I'm assuming that means we still have Albino Joe on the 80 carry. So does that mean we're going to have King mid?
I wonder. I don't know what King has been playing at 80 carry recently, if he's a Jin player. I'm actually, if Albino Joe is intending to play 80 carry, I'm really surprised he's going for that Jin instead of the Ezreal. He has had, in my opinion, way better play on the Ezreal than he has on the Jin.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I
And do you want to talk about these TDO bands real quick at
Yeah,
Boy Butter?
I like these bands a lot as well. The Shed and the Kale, those are the I think we've seen I'm Just Dan play those in 7 or 8 of his games this season. And specifically the Kale, I think, is one of the driving forces in a lot of the games where Boy Butter plays well. And the Shed
Yeah,
is something
no.
he's been playing for like 3 games straight. I think it's really smart to, with the counter pick, with Purple Pickle Pie on your team, force Dan to play something he might be a little less comfortable on, and then counter pick it.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and see that Jin pick answered by a Sivir Leona.
Yeah, you can always tell that 30 is a fan of superior regions like the LCK, where they're picking Sivir or banning Sivir in every game still,
Yep.
because Sivir has been picked or banned in a majority of the games TDO has played for the last month and a half since the Sivir buffs hit.
I mean, ever since the buff, she's been absolutely insane.
Oh, I am so
Illaoi.
excited by this. So this Ilaoi, this is an I'm Just Dance specialty right here. As far as I know, no one else on the entire North American server is playing this champ, but I'm Just Dan. And that's no. They are all in here. They are going comfort. They're gonna have some fun. Master Spitliner picking the Evelyn.
This is
This is
like Boy Butter. That's exactly. Like, this makes sense with the Jin over the Ezreal now. They're just playing champs that they want to play. They want to have fun. Dan's gonna make people play the mini game.
Well, you know what the worst part about playing against Alawi is? You just don't know what to do because most top laners have played against her just so few times. She's not a popular pick. There's a chance that Purple's only ever played against like single digit Alawis, just total in the top lane. So
Well,
he
you know
might
what's
have no idea what his matchup's going to play out like.
the really funny thing is that like the whole reason why you don't see a lot of Alawi is because Alawi actually doesn't do anything. And I don't mean that like it's like she's not like a champ that accomplishing anything, but it's like Alawi's not the champ. This is like a champ that she likes it when people engage on her. She doesn't really have a lot of engage on other people, but if someone comes onto the Alawi black. And
Yeah,
so I'm
so
really curious to see if the TDO squad will recognize this and realize that they don't need to run into this Alawi.
the early pick onto Alawi, Purple counterpicking that with Echo, something he's had banned against him the last few weeks, which nerfed on this patch, but still a fairly powerful pick from my understanding. And yeah, that should be the exciting lane to watch. I mean, these guys have been monsters in
Dude,
top lane all season.
I'm so excited to see what this last pick's gonna be. Also, just like what is this comp gonna be?
I mean, it's good. What are you talking about on a TDO?
No,
Oh, these last 2 picks on a boy butter.
there we go. Okay, so it's man
So
or mid. We are gonna have K King on support. Damn, I was getting hypey for the K King mid.
I am. So actually, one pick I want to go back on 30 picking Leona. This was a super smart pick, and I didn't realize it at the time. But K King is a support player. If 30 was thinking this was even an option, K King playing support,
Yeah,
he defaults to Leona when he plays support. This has been a pick. It's been his support champ for like the better part of 2 years now. So that was a really smart denial pick that I didn't catch at the time. And Thresh, obviously a little more mechanically intensive than Leona. So
yeah.
if this is King playing the Thresh, I am interested to see how it goes.
I'll be very interested. We'll have a very solid comp coming out of TDO. See the Jungle Pantheon. And it
And
looks like we'll have
Swerves,
Lissandra mid.
yep, not too surprised. That's been his go-to number 2 more than not this season, and a
Yeah.
pick that's still fairly strong. I especially like that pick versus the Evelyn, just because you can. It's gonna be really hard for Master Splinter to gank Swerves without Swerves just playing way too aggressively in that lane.
Yeah, especially because it's against a Diana who doesn't have a lot of CC. The only one she has is the knockback, and she can time the knockback so that Lissandra can swap to the E, but there's just such a like it's such a small window, and if like Lissandra takes like advantage from knowing that, she just swaps a little early.
That being said, Manlore the Miracle is always a bit of a miracle when he's playing mid. This is something the last season 5 and season 6, a lot of the games where he was coming off of the bench, he would end up playing that mid lane position, and he had some surprisingly good results. And Zwerves, it's not like he's going up against, you or Labur here. I mean, he is going up against Zwerves, so that should be, in theory, someone that's going to abuse him a bit less than really any of the other mid laners in the league.
Especially, he also does have the summoner advantage, whereas opting to take this TP in. I wonder if they noticed that Boybiter doesn't have a TP at all.
30 will definitely notice that in the loading screen. And
well, in the loading screen, I said, I mean, yeah. So we have no TP versus double TP.
Yeah, this is just pure playing for comfort. I don't know about that exhaust top lane on I'm Just Dan. But I'm no expert on Alawi. You can ask my team. We actually played a practice game versus Alawi this week. You want to know what happens? I was 0-5-0 at like 15 minutes. I think I had my mic muted for like 8 minutes prior. And at one point, Tree was just like, Swift, are you like completely tilted beyond saving right now? And I was like, yep. He's like, okay, I'm just going to go AFK the rest of this game. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So, fortunately, I'm not playing against Alawi. So I don't have to do that again. But she just does stuff you don't expect. Like, she pulls a clone at you, and you're like, cool, I'm way out of Alawi's range. Oh, she's hitting this clone. I'm taking damage. What a fun and engaging champion.
No, like, I don't know. I think Alawi is just such a terrible, she's such a terribly designed champ. You can't go.
She was buffed on 6.8 though.
I know, it scares me because the whole thing with Alawi is she has no engage potential. She's this big dumb brawler, but if you ever try to actually go fight her, yeah, you're gonna have a really bad time. The tentacles just slap you, and she does a lot of damage.
Yeah, no, she does a surprising amount of damage, and by the time she's ulted you, it's usually too late.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how Purple plays this, but Dan going with that exhaust to keep whatever in the range of the tentacles for longer, as opposed to an ignite like you would traditionally see out of a non-teleport top lane. So this is going to have to be... I'm going to trust Dan here. He's the Alawi expert. I am not. I think this is going to be kind of like you would see maybe with a Karthus with the exhaust, just to keep whatever in range of him.
Yeah.
But I just don't see kill pressure onto an Echo. He's got too many tools.
I mean, it might be one of those things where because with Karthus, it's not all just about keeping them in with you. It's the fact that they can't even trade with you when they're inside of you like that because the exhaust just guts their damage. So it could be something similar to that with the Alawi. It's like, oh, Pantheon decided to come in. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna exhaust him, and so he's gonna have trouble getting away with me. But if he tries to even fight, I just body him even harder because he doesn't hurt.
Yeah, that's true. This exhaust could end up being more useful just as a counter gank tool in top lane than anything. But you know what else is a good counter gank tool? Fucking flashing out and teleporting back to your tower and not losing a damn thing. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, Dan.
You want Ignite to go kill the Echo because it guts his healing the healing factor from him ulting. So I don't know. Who knows?
The only way Boybutter wins this game is if Master Splitter goes off. I mean,
or
that's such a stupid thing to say.
Or if TDO doesn't understand how to handle Alawi.
Okay, maybe Dan goes full versus Swift mode and just dumps this purple. But assuming that doesn't happen, Master Splinter has to completely go off this game because I do not see how a 30 team with a 2 teleport advantage could possibly lose if this game is even close.
I mean, I could see Manlore pulling up an upset over Swerves here because it is Manlore, and he's got the summoner advantage, but I don't think it'd be even close to big enough of a lead where it's we're gonna come back from not having double TP on the map.
Jumped out of loading screen and 15 seconds into the game. That was cool.
Huh. Interesting. Hopefully I'll catch up soon.
26, 27, 28. That's where I'm at.
I am still not in.
Well, he'll be in soon.
Yep.
So, looking at this level 1 here.
Yep.
TDO doing the
38.
Top laner doesn't... Perfect. TDO doing the top laner didn't listen to the call initially and is now getting to the bush late. And this is setting up for a potential fight. Albino Joe is not in the bush, though. He could be the bait. I want to see a fight, man.
I want to see. Oh, we're gonna get a fight. I can feel it.
They're gonna walk over a ward. So
yeah, but Boybutter's gonna want to fight him.
But they don't have Alawi.
Oh, lame.
They're stupid enough to consider fighting that, though, right? No, they're gonna just drop Warden back out. Lame. Lame, lame, lame. Not a surprise, though.
No.
So looking at these starts, going back to this top lane, and guys, I'm going to be talking about top lane a lot this game, so deal with it. I'm just Dan starting with a Doran's Blade here versus a Corrupting Potion on purple. So Dan going to be looking to try to get a kill at whatever his power spike is. I don't know when that is, but he has to have one at some point. And then a nice big leash coming at this red buff for Master Splinter. And that is a hell of a leash. That's the leash, like, Wes asks us for that leash and we just tell him to fuck off. But
yeah,
he's gonna get it, so we'll see what he can do with that early here.
yeah. That does give 30 and Ghost the advantage in the bot lane, being able to get a couple of minions experience. Actually, it seems like Albanjo didn't list out on anything. Surprisingly, I guess I didn't realize it did set the wave.
Oh, and Master Splinter's going for the cheese invade here. He's on Thermidor, and Thermidor is getting chunked. Thermidor has the flash on. Master Splinter flashes to follow. He's putting down damage on the top. But a nice turn, a stun out of Thermidor. First one to Thermidor.
Master Splinter is beyond tilted now.
But a hook onto 30. Albino Joe with the turn here. This is level 2s versus level 1s. But Albino Joe, you're level 2. Stay and fight like a man.
They lost that trade.
That was a huge misplay out of Joe and King. 2 level 2s to level 1s. There's basically no way you can lose that. Right now 30 going in. He gets the stun onto Albino Joe, who is exhausted. Ghost flashing forward. Joe flashing out. King sending that hook nowhere, but now 30 is snared. He's taking a lot of damage here. A flash on a King, going for the kill onto Ghost, and a heal to just get out of hook range. But King wants to chase this, and he's going to run straight into Thermidor. 30 is coming onto a flank here, and he's going to get a stun. Boomerang Blade misses, but a nice play. Not going to be enough. A kill for Ghost.
Oh, this game is amazing.
Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the Clown Fiesta.
Is that what this is just gonna be like all night? Like, no one's gonna care anymore. Like, Boost is gonna lose this game, but no one else is gonna care about their games. It's just gonna be a gigantic Clown Fiesta.
The next game will be pretty serious because.
Oh,
no,
Boost is the one that matters. Never mind. The next one matters a lot.
Yeah, if Boost lose, they have to be worried. They still have a chance of missing the playoffs.
Yeah, never mind. Next game will be.
But yeah, this is not a good start.
This is some quality boosted entertainment.
Now, I will tell you, when you're picking like all comfort champs across all 5 positions, that is not how you want the first 4 minutes of your game to go.
I don't think that's how you want the first 4 minutes of any game to go.
That's okay. Yeah, that's true. And now we see Thermidor coming onto King, who's about to get cucked. Taking so much damage here. A kill for Thermidor. He is 2-0-1 at 430 on a very snowbally champ.
Manlord doing a lot of work on this mid lane.
Manlord flashes in, auto ignite's gonna barely miss out on this kill, and now Thermidor gonna come in for an easy kill with the double buff. Oh, Manlord misplayed that. He could have got that kill if he had committed earlier instead of flashing later.
Yeah. It was a very sad sight to see. I saw Manlord going in, I was like, is Manlord just gonna get the solo kill on Swerves here? Is the miracle going to happen? Nope. No miracles today, boys. We all out.
I'm gonna come up with a bold prediction here. Say the Boy Butter are gonna lose this game. Because Albino Joe is getting eat onto again. He's taking a lot of damage from Ghost here. A hook onto 30 is actually going to save Joe's life. A nice play out of KK. And now Master Splinter coming up behind Purple. No time to wait here. A lot of damage going on to Purple Pickle Pie, who is exhausted currently. He's gonna get a one-man stun. Flash, but now Thermidor is actually here to save his life.
Alright, so we got the real question here for you now then. If you want to make like a bold prediction, will Boy Butter get a kill this game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the answer to that is yes.
There's too many players on TDO that get a little cocky when they're ahead for them to not overstep somewhere. Jesus Christ, King is level 2.
I mean, he'll get a lot of experience from this bot wave here. That's a lot
That's
of minions.
still insane. So, 30 ago showing they don't know what they're doing and not bouncing that wave. That's actually really disappointing to me. They have such a huge lead. There was no reason for them not to bounce that wave. And now King and Albino Joe are going to be able to set up a freeze here. They also had a health advantage and a level advantage. That was like the most obvious situation in the world to set up a freeze, unless they were super, super scared of Master Splinter. I guess is a possibility, but I definitely prefer that they just don't know what they're doing in bot lane. Yeah, both junglers showed up in this top lane. This will not be a good 2v2 for Boy Butter. And I think it's gonna... No, Thermidor actually gets seen by a ward.
Dan's
but he's jumping in.
Really big.
There's a lot of damage going on this Dan, though. He does not get stunned. Thermidor actually did not want this. But Purple nearly picks up a kill before going down. First kill on the board for Boy Butter and Master Splinter.
Dan put out a lot of damage there. Just got the tentacles, put people down.
I don't know why Thermidor was so scared to commit to that. I feel like they could have won that the old-fashioned way.
I'm pretty sure they could have, but I imagine what actually happened was just like the lack of communication. They're like, we can win this fight, we can win this fight. It's like, well, we should just play it safe. We have this big lead. Very interesting developments, though.
Yeah, let me, I hate when people are like, oh, we got to play this safe with the lead, because there's a difference between playing smart with the lead and playing safe. But Manlo the Miracle being ganked on 30, showing up in the mid lane here. A lot of damage going on to Manlo the Miracle, who is exhausted. 30 tanking this tower. And Zwerv's not quite enough, but he's going to go for this tower dive here. He's taking a lot of damage, and Master Splinter shows up with the kill with his smite. And now in the bot lane, Ghost nearly picks up a kill 1 versus 2. And I just, nope, that's, he created that Ghost. It's not actually Purple Pickle Bias, not a gank. We're good.
Oh my goodness.
And somehow this gold thing's been cut down to about 400.
Yeah.
This is what happens in the Clown Fiesta, man.
This is the Clown Fiesta. We see majority of both teams' kills on their junglers.
Attention citizens of New York, this is a Chaos Dunk advisory. Albino Joe does not get the memo. King about to go down for his crimes against B-Ball as well. 2 kills. Both on the Thermidor, I believe?
One on the Thermidor, one on the Ghost.
4-0-1 Pantheon at 9 minutes. That's a Master Splinter scoreline.
Yeah. I know, that's a scary Pantheon. He's ready to, as we saw, he brought the dunk, and he's ready to dunk some more. Neither of the junglers are going to get their blue buffs either. Both the junglers are like, yeah, we're the ones fed, we're the ones grabbing blue buff, let's go.
I'm not at all surprised that Wes is taking his blue buff. That's like the most typical Wes. This is week 10. We're playing to try to win this game, especially now that they're down. That is so Wes. To be like, Zelly, deal with it. I have to carry this game. Sorry about giving up first blood. You know, Master Splinter trying to abuse his fog of war here. He's directing the camera, just doesn't know where the action is going to be today.
No. I think when everyone's fighting all at once, it's got to pick one.
I can't wait till Spectator levels up to NFL Red Zone mode, where it can just go like split screen to action in both places as it's happening. And now I'm just Dan starting this fight here. When Master Splinter shows up for the counter gank, they're actually splitting damage. Decent AoE damage. Master Splinter's trying to commit this. He flashes over, gets the shutdown on the Thermidor, and now he's going to try to make this a 2-for-1. Puts out a lot of damage on Purple Pickle, but swerves with a nice roll. Purple is putting the kite out of this, and a kill for Purple at the tail end of that. Now in the bot lane, you're just pulling 30 closer to your AD carry, man. Ghost gets exhausted now. Albino Joe flashes out. A nice summoner spell win for TDO there.
See, I told you, man, like the second someone fights, it's just like the alarm goes out. Everyone else needs to fight.
Oh, purple pick up by Manlord the Miracle with the late roam. Going to get the kill on the purple pickle pie. Oh, man. And now Albino Joe gonna call the curtains. 30's going to get hooked. This might be an okay. Oh, just kidding, because here comes Pantheon again. Going for the tower dive, but the box is actually going to almost kill Thermidor.
Man.
Master Splinter's showing up. He could put down some serious damage if these guys try to push.
Yep.
If
the
he
Jin trap.
wants to. And yep, now Master Splinter's going in, popping those Qs. Master Splinter is gonna think about committing, but oh, he gets turned on. Outplayed by TDO.
The second he just hopped out of that turret, that was really great from TDO. They just all immediately turned to CC the crap out of him, and he just didn't stand a chance.
Has been so fucking good in this game. Like, this is just... It's just the season. This guy is awesome.
Yeah, I know. Thermidor's been a monster this entire season.
And this is... We have never, in the history of the SBL, seen a jungle player have this level of impact that wasn't named Master Splinter. Like,
Yeah.
Even in his heyday, 30 had some really good games, but he was always a very different type of player than Master Splinter. Thermidor, he just looks like Vintage West. And Jesus, Purple Pickle Pie takes a huge trade from Imjastan, who knows the damage that allows. He's flashing aggressively here, and wham bam goes the tentacle. I've seen enough hentai, I don't know how that
Illinois,
turns out.
baby. The hentai life. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Purple tried to pick a fight with Dan there, and then Dan just turned and just gave him the beating of a lifetime.
Yeah, my knowledge of Ilaoi is entirely from the Fiora matchup, but in the meantime, actually, 30 going aggressively on the Manlord the Miracle is taking a ton of damage here. The Boomerang Blade from Ghost is gonna secure that. He is now 5-0-2. And they are gonna set up a nice 4-on-2 push into this mid lane with some kind of nice boxing out going here. They're gonna get most of this mid lane tower before they have to back off. Now,
Oh, the man
Pantheon
drop comes out.
behind Albino Joe. How much damage did a 5-1 Pantheon do? Much.
Just enough.
And oh man, I can see the fear at Purple. He doesn't know what Ilaoi does.
No, he has no clue.
Now Manlord going for a trade here. Ghost takes a lot of damage. He has to flash out. And Purple's teleporting behind this. Ghost is down. This could be a decent fight for Boy Butter. Purple's also very low here. Manlord's going to turn and try to finish him off. Nice start out of Purple, but now Purple takes a lot of damage. He ults defensively. Manlord's going to pick up a second kill in the fight for Boy Butter. A 2-for-0 and a good opportunity to push here.
What is this game?
It's a Clown Fiesta, man.
This is the Clown Fiesta. What a great way to start off the last week of regular season SBL. I love it.
My favorite thing is this is such a Boy Butter game.
Oh,
They are starting to drag TDO down to their level.
That's just what happens. Like, that's what the butter does. You just get lubed up, you get slippery, and you fall down to their level.
And Dan going to possibly take this top lane tower here.
I think
That
he
would be
will.
that's a big pickup for Boy Butter. You're gonna cut this gold lead to only 1,000, which anytime you can be down 5 kills and only be down, you're gonna be about 700 gold here. You're happy with that. But Albino Joe gonna toss a lot of that lead away. He's walking away, but he's got nowhere to run. Easy kill for Ghost.
Nice 300 gold off of him.
And TDO is all positioned to take a second dragon of the game with that as well. Yeah, that was just really stupid out of Albino Joe. Like, if you're starting him on a comeback, you cannot be pushed that deep past your tower with no vision.
Yeah. Not been a very good game for Albino Joe. He's been having some problems.
And we've seen that kind of consistently with him. His early game kind of lacking. I mean, obviously playing with Manlore and King at support isn't the same as playing with Tree or 30, but the issues have mostly been on him in this game. And this kind of goes back to what I said in the draft. I was really surprised he didn't pick the Ezreal, because I feel like that champ allows him to bail himself out of a lot of the mistakes he makes. And I mean, they're not gonna play another game after this, so I guess I could give up all the information I have on this team. I think Boy Butter, when they have their real lineup, relies on 2 picks. That's Ezreal and Braum, and I don't think they're any good without those 2 picks.
Jeez, look at this vision coming out from TDO. Like, this the 4 lines of pink near the dragon. Like, the absolute wall of wards.
They have like
crossing
13
the entire
wards
half
on
of
the
that.
map
Like,
right
it's just
now.
an excellent vision control from TDO.
Yeah, if you hear my mic go quiet for a bit, I am definitely touching myself to those wards. Now in the mid lane, Thermidor goes in on Manlore. He's putting out so much damage, but actually Manlore is turning and putting out more damage. Manlore at 2-2 solos the 6-1 overly aggressive Thermidor. I love it.
There was 2 really big things that happened right there. Is one, Manlore pulled him out of his jump. I don't know if you noticed that. And then the other thing was that the Manlore went for the Diana built the Nashor's Toothbrush, which gives that really, really heavy sustained damage to her.
Well, Albano Joe dead, but I really appreciate the part where he jukes the snare. And he's at least get a tower out of it. Manlore gonna almost make it out, but 2 kills going over to TDO there, and this is gonna give them a nice chance to start sieging onto this mid tower.
I think the Sid tower is just gonna drop here.
And this is so big. This map, so we haven't touched on this in a while, but we're 18 minutes in here. That's both towers down in the mid lane, which almost entirely opens up the map. It's also 2 teleports to 0. So TDO has the full playbook at this point of the game.
This is where the lack of it, like any teleport at all on Boy Butter is really gonna start to hurt them.
Yeah, and they're going to just casually walk down to this bot lane. Now they're going aggressive. Master Splitter gets chunked out. KK dies right away to start this fight. Master Splitter flashes defensively. So while we have a chance, and because he's pushing the stop lane, back onto some Malawi watch. I'm just going for the Black Cleaver first, and presumably going into a Sterix engage next.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So there's your update on what Malawi's build, boys and girls.
I'm pretty sure that's actually like fairly standard on what Alawi's build. I haven't seen a lot, but I know they always get those 2, and then they always get the Dead Man's Plate. I have no idea what you'd build after that. Probably just more dumb tank items, but
Now 30 actually a little. Nope. Albino Joe, you're in danger here. You need to keep running. Albino Joe is a big fan of being far forward in this game. And
yeah,
there's the Solar Flare, Leona with the everything. Albino Joe barely nicks out, but I don't think that's going to be enough to stop Thermidor because there is no tier 2 here. A stun onto Manlore the Miracle, who was getting completely chunked, goes with his 7th kill of the game, and that curtain call isn't going to kill anyone. And Purple actually goes for...
Wait.
Word is chunking. Master Splitter is dead. And now Purple jumping out for base walls. He's flashing out to Albino Joe. He gets the kill. Oh my god.
He dies to the Deathfire touch though. Joe does get the revenge and gets his first kill of the game. But Purple Vehicle Pie is probably meanwhile saying, worth, I reset his gold value.
Yeah, and it's a 1 for 3 that's going to set up an easy top tier 1 turret take for TDO.
Yeah, we're really seeing TDO taking a very large gold lead advantage now in this
Yeah,
game.
they haven't even gotten to the point where they have to use their teleports. I mean,
No.
Baron just spawned a minute ago. That's really when the big, like, standard teleport plays open. I mean, I really liked the idea of playing for first place, but I am losing hope fast.
It's cute. I don't know. I like the Buttery Boys and all, but I haven't had much hope for them since like 4 or 5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, I agreed. Agreed.
Echo's bot, do Baron. What?
All right, so realistically here, though, let's say you're Boy Butter. Let's say you don't tilt off the face of the earth every time you're at a disadvantage. Let's say you have a shot caller. What do you want to do here? Like, what's even your plan?
I don't even know. Like you miss, like you lack so many of the standard options in your playbook because of the summoner spells and team comp.
Oh, and there's the on the hunt. There's Swerves. Albino Joe gets chunked. Oh my god. So much damage so fast for TDO. They are just wiping Boy Butter off the face of the earth. And I can't believe it's Butter, because they just got melted. 2 for 5 in favor of Think Twice, Die Once. They're going to go have their pick of the inhibitor towers here, it looks like.
Yeah, no, that was just, oh man. Manlord just deleted Ghost in that fight, but it didn't matter. They just had such a strong engage off that 3-man Leona ultimate. And that's going to be 2 inhibitor towers most likely.
That is going to be 2 inhibitor towers.
Yep.
At least they're going to kill Purple Pickle Pie, right?
Nope.
JK. Who's that go? What was I thinking?
Yeah. You're funny, Swift.
I'll try.
Oh my goodness. Like down 3 dragons, you don't have inhibitor towers. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh no, poor King.
And K-King goes down supportal combat with a jungler there.
It's like cheating. Everyone really didn't respect the 1v1.
I mean, when it's supportal combat, I don't think you should respect the 1v1. There's
No, you never respect the 1v1.
And Boy Butter not being respected. Thermidor gets the kill onto Albino Joe. He gets the double kill onto Master Splitter. And now I'm just Dan being chased out. Another kill for 30, who is really fucking over Ghost's attempt to lead the kills in this game. As he now falls 3 behind Thermidor.
And what will most likely be a double inhib.
This could even be the game. I wouldn't be surprised. They are pushing forward. Manmore getting jumped out. K-King flashing defensively. 11th kill for Thermidor. There is a wave here. There still is time. TDO going to try to end this right here, right now, and secure that first seed. K-King going to waste some time. Ghost gonna miss the Q. And that Turns is doing a lot of damage. The courtesy call, Albino Joe gonna try to save the season. But I don't feel great about those odds. Ghost ignoring the action, focusing this Nexus. Albino Joe, though, gets a kill. And now Zwerth has to run. Ghost has abandoned the Nexus. And at like 300 health, this Nexus is going to survive for one more pull.
Oh. They saved the Nexus.
SBL Clown.
Yeah, this is... I feel like this is a really fitting way for Boy Butter to end their season. I cannot think of a more apt way to have it end.
And they are all in on this Baron bait, but the blue trinket going to see them first.
Nerf blue trinket.
And now it looks like they're gonna just go for whatever they can take. Nope, just kidding. They're gonna run. And I appreciate the 30's balls. Oh, but Swerve's teleported in. He's going for the back door. He's not going to get it. The rest of TDO is doing what they can to waste time. It is Swerve versus Master Splinter. The season on the line. Swerve going down fast. Albino Joe is there to help secure this kill. But we have a real fight breaking out on the other side here. Swerve does not get this kill. But the 3 versus 3 turns into a triple kill for Purple Pickle Pie. And again, Albino Joe and Master Splinter going to try to save this season with 400 health on the Nexus. Sorry, 1,500, whatever. I rounded. Albino Joe, he's rounding his health down to getting the fuck out. It's over, folks. It's finally over. It's done. Boy Butter joins Wayne's Death Spot and WCF in the infamy of last place. And Think Twice Die Once are in the SBL Championship. And that was a League of Legends game, guys.
That was some good old-fashioned League of Legends. That was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was at least entertaining. Boy Butter
yeah.
didn't go down without a clown.
No.
So I'm going to see if we can get 30 and Thermidor in here. I'd like Thermidor after the game he had. I'd like 30 after the season they've had.
User joined your channel.
And there is one of the two. Welcome 30. I don't know if Thermidor had a run off to...
he's saying goodnight to his child.
Well, is he planning to come back?
I'm not sure.
The way you trailed off. Well, if he comes back, we'll talk to him too. Otherwise, we'll just talk to you real fast here. So, 30, congratulations on a win.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little clowny for a bit, but you guys were clearly the better team. Were you guys worried at all, kind of in that, like, you were up 4-0 and was looking real commanding, and then you kind of just kept trading 1-for-1 kills across the map for a bit. Were you at all concerned during that?
Up top? The skirmishes and stuff?
Just in general. You guys went from like 4-0 to like 12-7 on the kill score.
Oh, yeah. I was fine with that. Like, we were crushing it bot, and like the sole reason I think is just because Master Splinter played Eve. Like, he was there in at least 2 to 3 ganks top. He was there for the counter gank, which is what Eve's really good at. So, yeah, I wasn't overly concerned. We had the way better composition. So I mean, if it actually got down to the line, I think we still would have won.
You tell me you think your double TP versus no TP was going to outscale?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
All right.
User in your channel timed out.
Well.
So
who was? Oh, that was Casey. We're good.
yeah, we're fine. So with that win, as I'm sure you are very well aware, you guys have secured first place in your ticket to the SBL Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Feel good to be back?
Yeah. It was a weird win. We actually weren't cheering at all. Like, we're not. I don't know. We're not like overly excited because the game. Well, it's a game. But yeah, no, it feels good. I feel like we put in a lot of hard work over the last however many like wins we've won consecutively. Like every week is tons of prep work, and we practice as a team, and it feels good to get here.
Yeah, you guys are now 6-0 since you made the switch back to supports. I know you're aware of that fact.
Yeah,
I now that you've secured first place, you've beaten every team since switching back to supports, with very few hiccups along the way. Are you guys is Think Twice Die Once going to be the season 7 SBL championship or champions?
Yes.
All right, you can't argue with that decisiveness, guys. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of question I could ask you that would make you throw a teammate under the bus, and I could use that to just kind of wedge them away from your team,
Yeah.
create a little bit of psychological warfare before our finals matchup. But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, no, we almost broke up as a team. Ghost and Swerves were having having an argument today about the changes in 6.9 about how magic damage is because they changed the way AP champions deal damage to towers. I'm pretty sure we were gonna break up the band today. The argument got really heated. FYI, magic damage. Never mind. You guys read the patch notes. Don't worry about it.
there's some big patch notes.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be pretty happy. You at least get to watch 2 best of 5s before your team has to play. You have 2 weeks on this patch to evaluate what's good and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess there's not really much more to ask. You guys have looked good, and
User joined your channel.
I think there is we're gonna see a lot of members of your team win awards in a few weeks when we do that, to say the least.
Oh.
So
Before the postseason?
yeah, it'll be after the postseason.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I look forward to rubbing in your second place finish with your list of first and second team all-stars, but we'll worry about that when we get there, guys. So we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to be switching streamers in a moment and switching over to game 2, which is SS Boosted Friendship versus Daddy Bargain Bin. As we said earlier, this one has quite a few more implications on the playoff picture, so don't touch that browser.